Hi, this is Robert Nahas, CEO of Writer Services and a few other companies, but we're live on LinkedIn on the Writer Services page. But we're also streaming to Facebook and our fan page there, as well as YouTube. This is the first time sending out to places other than LinkedIn itself. So another exciting day. So again, it's been a while. I haven't been coming on every week. Been moving the company and moving the house and everything. Main headquarters is staying in Clearwater, but we're moving out to other states as well. So I've been very busy with that. But wanted to make sure that I don't go beyond a few weeks without checking in and teaching a little bit and so forth. So without further ado, let's get going. All right. So like I said, I'm Robert Nahas, CEO of Writer Services, and just upgraded some features here. So having fun with fun with the buttons. So I wanted to not get serious, but in a fun way. We used to have a company called the Pro Sportsman, and our slogan was "We're serious about fun." So that play on words can mean a lot, because it's not good to be serious, because if you get serious, it's hard to get anything done. But in the same respect, if you're too flippant, you're not going to get anything done as well. So there's this nice little balance of having fun while being serious. So I want to talk about how to succeed in this economy. We've all been experiencing, as free individuals, entrepreneurship, a lot of suppression and a tough economy, right? And so in uncertain times, people don't invest as much. They don't spend as much in the important things, right? We're here as entrepreneurs. We have either coaching businesses, or we have retail stores. We have things that are, to our belief, something valuable and important for others in order to make other people's lives better, right? So it's important what we do. And so it's, unless you're selling feel-good things, in a tough economy, you can have a rough time helping people. And we're not alone on it here at Writer Services either. And we've had to reinvent. And, it just makes the best out of you, right? Because you have to rise to the occasion. And after going through the thick of things for the last couple of years, we've done some amazing things because we had to. And, one of those things is actually creating a company that helps other business owners to have the right kind of lead, have the right kind of person to promote to or to sell to, in order to increase the potential of closing that person to actually get the service that's going to help them, right? Or the product that's going to improve their life. But it is still tough, right? Because the economy isn't booming. And, a couple of years ago, things were very different, and people were spending money like crazy for good. They were getting things they want. Life was pretty good for all of us. Things will change again. They will improve. Things never stay the same, ever, ever, ever. And so that's something to look forward to. But in the meantime, we need to be creative, we need to be positive, and we need to be smart in how we survive, right? And not only just make it another day, but to flourish and prosper. So that's what I want to talk about today. I want to get into the subject of business, which I really haven't all that much so far in my early days of doing live, LinkedIn Live streaming. And I've talked about books and writing and so on. But today we're going to get into business. Cool. So like I mentioned, or I may not have yet, I don't have a script, right? I just talk off the cuff. I'm going to talk to you today about the 4 Ps of business success. And as trite as that may sound, when you can put things together in a simple to remember way, it really does help because you can apply it in your life, in your business. So a little bit easier to remember the 4 Ps than some other lengthy thing. And so, we have a situation right now where money has been being printed in astronomical ways without being backed by gold and so on. So the value of the dollar has been plummeting, whether anyone knows it or not. But when you go to buy a house or rent a house or do a lot of things now, you see how much more it costs. And we haven't seen the end of that yet. The value of the dollar has decreased greatly. So that means we have to make more money than we were in the good economy to pay our bills and to fund our marketing efforts and keep the lights on. There's a lot of expenses, a lot of hidden expenses in business. So we have to make a boatload of money, basically, more than ever to make it and to keep helping people and keep our purpose going forward and to, like I said before, flourish and prosper. So, it's one thing to be positive and it's important. We have to be gung ho. We have to say every morning and come out with our sword and battle gear and shield and take on the day, right? But it's another thing to do it without a plan, without a strategy. It gets pretty dangerous when you walk around with a sword or a gun or something, and you're asking for trouble unless you have a plan. So, in order to be successful in business, strategy and planning is key. And just going on a women of prayer or a positive attitude alone doesn't work. And one of the main reasons why so many businesses fail within the first year and within the first 3 years, there's some major statistics. It's something crazy like 60% fail the first year, 90% fail the second or third year, something like that. It's just this crazy number. And one of the main reasons for that is because people sort of jump in, right? And never realize just how much there is to doing something, especially something like running a business. We see from Hollywood and advertisements the glamour and the glory of being a business owner and being your own boss. And we don't see behind the scenes and what it takes to make a dollar, to make a profit, right? And there's a lot to it. And if we don't strategize, if we don't figure out what we're going to do and then plan how we're going to do it, we're going to have a really hard time of it. So with a positive attitude, we can combine strategy and planning and do a pretty darn good job of things. And so we have to do that now. We have to become really good, the best we've ever been in business and in sales and in convincing people, complete strangers, that what you have to offer them is for their betterment. And that's the challenge that a salesperson has, right? Is to get a person who has been ripped off before. They've been, they mistrust others now because of it, especially someone trying to take their money, right? A salesperson, that's what in their eyes they say, this guy's trying to steal from me, or this gal is trying to rip me off. When in fact you're trying to help them in a big way. But that's the fact of it. And so knowing that, you can then understand how to overcome or help that person in front of you or on the phone or in video, whatever, how to overcome their fears, their mistaken identity of you being the bad person when you're not. That was somebody long ago or whatever, right? So with a little purpose, presence, persistence, and planning, the odds for succeeding with your business increase 100-fold. And so I wanted to briefly get into those 4 P's: purpose, presence, persistence, and planning with you today. And while just for a quick, I'm just going to check to see if anybody's commented or asked any questions. Okay, good. And do feel free to do that. And if you're not here live, feel free to post below the video, and we'll get back to you, okay? Or reach out to me at LinkedIn if you have a question. And I am here for you because I guess I want to, right? You reach a certain point in your life, in your career, where you want to give back. And I think the right thing to do for anyone who has learned something important and can show others how to do it, others who want to do what you've achieved, I think it's a really important thing to do, and it's enjoyable. So here we are. So the 4 P's: purpose, presence, persistence, and planning. Purpose is the first one. I put it first because it really is so important. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning. And the way that happens is to really figure out what your purpose really is. It's not to pay your bills. It's not to survive another day. It's not to, be able to buy food or something. Those things are more of a necessity or a need in order to do something else, which is what we're striving for. And that's what we want to look at. It's like, how do we get up in the morning and get excited about what we're doing? We do that by finding something that you are not okay with. And it's like, okay, that situation is going on. It could be anything. It could be, Steve Jobs 50 years ago, whatever. I'm exaggerating, but, maybe he wanted to, I think Steve actually at one point said that he wanted to make, life better for people through technology, right? Through gadgets. And he sure did do that, right? As did a lot of people with things. But you can see that that wasn't something for him, it was for others. So if you find your purpose, it's gonna lie outside of your box, outside of your life. It's gonna go beyond you. So if you can clearly realize something important that you do, there's a funny movie, I can't think of the name of it right now. It's an old movie, all things considered. But the main character, Richard Dreyfuss, in the movie was a coat hanger manufacturer, and he was like this multi-millionaire by making these little tiny wire coat hangers. And he mentions in the movie of how, he was helping the world by, people being able to hang their coat or whatever, right? It's kind of funny, but it's true. And he, in his character, made life better by making coat hangers. And he didn't think, so I can make more money or I can have a big house, which is fine. But that's not what's going to get you up in the morning. What's going to get you up in the morning is realizing that you can improve the lives of others, right? So so you first have to clarify your purpose and state it, and know it, and think of it every time you go to bed and every time you wake up in the morning. And then we have presence, meaning you have to arrive. Okay. And you have to show up. And really, when you're in business for yourself, I always make this joke that um, there's a clock, right, that you punch in, but there's no out. So you punch in on day one, and that's it. I mean, you're just full time um, responsible for your business. And if you have a retail store, you know how much more that is. I used to I had one retail store I had, started when I was 21 years old. I had it for 18 years. It was a fishing tackle store. And every time it rained, I would like cringe in my bed and I would worry. It's like, oh man, is the roof going to leak? It's going to fall on my $1 million merchandise, my inventory. And there's a lot of weight that comes with being a business owner, a lot of responsibility. And so there were times where I had to go at 2 o'clock in the morning because someone broke in the store or something. It's just crazy. But you have to be willing to arrive. You have to show up at all costs, all the time, day or night. You don't get a day off unless you're able to. You know what I mean? It's like somebody fills your spot for you or something, but you're it. You're ultimately the most responsible person for the success of your business. So that's just the way it is. And it's a good thing because responsibility is great. And it's like with that, there's trade-offs. Right? You don't have to put up with maybe a mean boss or something like that. You may be able to work your own hours if you're mostly online, or maybe you're a writer like I was for many years, still am a little bit, but I'm running CEO of many companies now. But you're a coach or what have you. Of course, there's retail stores and manufacturing and all those other things too. But so you need to just show up every day, thick or thin, no matter what. And that's presence. And then persistence is keeping your nose to the grindstone, as they say. It's keep at it, keep promoting, keep being positive, keep telling people how great the things you have are and how you can help them and so on, right? And persistence, you just keep going and keep doing it. But what's interesting is what's next is planning. Now, this isn't in a particular order, really, because planning needs to be in there early. You got to have a plan. You gotta have strategy. You gotta know what you're gonna do, why you're gonna do it, and how you're gonna do it. How you're gonna get it done. If you want to help 100 people, you want to help 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million. You want to sell 1 million gadgets, whatever. You have to have a plan of how you're going to do that. You have to have a strategy. This is what we're going to do year one. This is how we're going to do it. Year two, we're going to do this. We're going to build this team, and then year three, we're going to build a bigger team, and then just time and when things are going to be achieved, milestones, right? Accomplishments and goals to reach and everything, right? What you want to do and how you're going to do it, how it's going to get done. A wing and a prayer, a positive attitude, none of that is going to do a bit of good to getting something specific done. The belief, the excitement, the positive attitude, that goes along with purpose. It goes along with presence, goes along with persistence, keeps you going, right? But it's the planning part that is so key to allowing you to get there and to get there faster, get there sooner. So with these 4 Ps, anything becomes possible. And your potential to succeed is enormous. It's just limitless. It really is. And that's one of the beautiful things about being a business owner is that there's no ceiling. There's no limit to what you can do or achieve. You can always expand further and further. And that's just the most amazing feeling to know that you have the potential to do that. So if you would take these 4 Ps and apply them to your life, apply them to your business, your career, your entrepreneurship, it will make a difference. You have to do it for blood, okay? And so I want to segue into a purpose of mine, and that is, I recently started another company, a sister company, under the umbrella of Writer Services, which helps our clients to come in contact with more ideal prospective buyers, right? Clients, potential clients, customers, book buyers, whatever they are, right? They're people who will buy and use your service or your product. And so it's important that you actually put together a team, because I spent many, many years with the mistake of trying to do everything myself or doing too much myself, thinking I was saving a buck. But in the long run, lengthening the runway, not doing things as good as I could have because I had too many balls up in the air, right? You're juggling. If you think about, you're handling so many things. And I know someone years ago used the analogy of riding bicycles, stationary bikes. And if you let's say that you were handling 5 things, which is probably very little compared to what an entrepreneur or a business owner normally takes on, right? But if you think of each of those bikes as those areas of activity, so you jump on one and you're running, and everything's going nice and fast, and lots of things are happening from that as a result. But then you look at the other 4, and they're stationary. They're still, right? They're static, and they're not producing anything. So you jump off that bike and continues going a little bit, but then you start up another one, and that one starts producing some things, and the other one's slowing down, still producing a little, but slowing down pretty fast, right? And you jump on the others and the others. So none of them get to have any lasting success because you're trying to single-handedly deal with them all. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. I tried it. I'm speaking from experience. So the first thing I did was I got a mentor, my first mentor, and I spent a stupid amount of money. People thought I was nuts, and it was the smartest thing I ever did, because I started doing things that would have taken me 10 years to do and was doing them in 10 months. That's a great analogy. Some things were 10 days instead of 10 weeks, you see. So it wasn't like it took 10 months to see any progress. And that was when I knew, okay, mentors work, coaches work. And then another thing I learned was to have salespeople who are really good at what they do, and they're passionate. They're excited about what you have to offer. They believe in what you have. They believe in your mission statement. They're excited about what you're doing and why you're doing it. If a person just comes in for the money, they're not going to do well. They're just not. I mean, they might do well for a while, but they're going to burn out. And why spend all your time and energy training someone about your product or service, and then they get burnt out? And then you wonder why all of a sudden Mike or Megan or whoever stop selling like they used to. And you wonder what changed, and you look and you dig and you try to find it, and it's not visible because it's in them. They don't have enough drive because they're not on your lines for the right reasons. It's amazing to realize that. So you got to have somebody who's like really excited about what you're doing and believes in you, believes in, they're in agreement with, they're aligned with you. Okay. So important. And then thirdly is putting together the right marketing team, whether those are individuals that work for you as contractors from their homes. I mean, these days it works, right? It could be a company, it could be a number of companies, and but you obviously can't do it all on your own. You have to do it smartly. But if you're making a profit, even if it's just a few bucks, then keep going. Just keep going. And it will get better because marketing is an ongoing activity, never stops. So, it's just really important to have people on your lines, whoever they are. If you're paying them, they need to be really excited about your purpose, your mission. Okay. And so this sort of segues into what I brought up and didn't say yet, but about the company I created recently. I always create things out of necessity. I started, back in 1998 as a writer, and I would realize need from my clients, and from those needs, I created solutions to those needs. And so I went from being a solo writer to having other writers and editors, proofreaders, cover designers, the whole assembly line, layout design, book layout design, book marketing, bestseller campaigns, all the, even helping a person to publish or to find a publisher. So through the years, we became the all under one roof literary services company. And something recently with what's been going on with the economy, it makes you step back and look at your weak points. Because when the economy is fair or good, you get away with a lot. And you don't change. Why bother? Hey, things are great, right? But when things are not going well, you have to get creative. Say, I have to improve things. And that's what this BS economy has done for me and a lot of my entrepreneur friends and a lot of people. And I want to make sure that you do that too. So I decided to start a company. Sorry, I thought I had the phone off. I decided to start a company that helps businesses, whether you're a solopreneur or a small retail business or a small to mid-sized company, maybe up to 50 employees, something like that. That's what I designed this for, because I felt that's where the greatest need was. Bigger companies have their own in-house everything, right? But a lot of us small business owners don't. We don't have anything. We have very little, and we have very little that we can rely on or trust in, right? So I created a company that helps to close more sales, which means to make more money, which is the fuel that's needed to succeed, right? And to promote more and to bring home the bacon and to expand and hire more people and everything. So money allows you to do it all. So if you can close more sales, because in shorter time, right, you're dealing with less people, you're getting more yeses than nos, and then so you're not having to talk to this many bunch of people before one says yes, and so on. It becomes more efficient. And so we do certain specific marketing activities using Google Ads. Sometimes it depends on the client, what they need, right? But we have my son is a certified Google Ads specialist, and then we do specific marketing on LinkedIn, and set up sort of funnels or landing pages, whatever is really needed, so that your phone rings more or your forms come in more, or whatever it is, the call to action that you want. And so the name of the company is uh, Sales by Leads, salesbyleads.com. And so this kind of falls into what I was teaching today, which is to build the right team around you, a team of people who really care about you achieving your goals, a team who you can trust. And so I wanted to just mention that on the side, because if you are, hopefully you've learned something today. I know that what I've shared with you today is extremely valuable. And if you do apply it, it will help through this economy and help in all economies. That's what's so cool, whether it's a good economy or a bad economy. And so if you can be willing to apply the 4 Ps to your business endeavor, include a performance period with the people you hire. That's something that's really important, because you can hire someone who really talks the talk and they don't walk the walk, right? They end up like just not producing. Meanwhile, you've invested time, a lot of time and money, even if they're, let's say, in sales and they're not getting paid hourly, they're getting paid commission. You still spend a lot of energy, a lot of time teaching, right, them. And so you have to have a performance period in there. And if you do, it could be 3 to 6 months, depending on what it is. Because, some things definitely take ramping up. We all start in like pretty much confusion when we come into something new. You got to give a person a chance to learn the ropes and get oriented, and allow them the opportunity to be able to produce beyond the gawky stage, the awkward stage where you're practically tripping over yourself, right? So if you will put a performance clause in there and say, I'm happy to hire you. You sound perfect. I'm really excited you're here. We have a 3-month performance period or a 6-month performance period. And after that time period, we'll have an evaluation to see whether you stay on or not. With that, you have now established that you're not messing around, right? And you're saying, we're not going to be fooled by anybody anymore. And we're going to look at you closely to see what you have done or not done. So I guarantee you some people will leave your office or get off the phone and never call you back or never come back. So you will just have saved yourself a lot of, like, thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours, right? But you will find that you will produce an amazing team when you do that. So the third thing is to give people who show great promise, who are aligned with your purpose. They're excited about what you're doing. They get your mission statement. They want to follow you to the ends of the earth, right? They're like, this is great. You really give them purpose, right? It's beautiful. You find people like that, then you make sure that you do give them adequate time, or else you waste really good people, and they're hard to find. So those are some things that you should do in order, like, how to build your team. Okay. And so that's pretty much it. And if you are looking for a marketing team, I would love to speak with you about what I and my team of experts can do for you. Salesbyleads.com is new, but Writer Services has been around for over 2 decades, and that's where this all comes from. Sales by Leads is just a sister company. It's an offshoot. I wanted to separate it from Writer Services because it's quite different in some ways. You know what I mean? And I don't want to mix messages or muddy up what we do with Writer Services, which is very clear. We write books for people. If people have already written books, we edit them. If they've already done that, we'll take them from there and help them to get published and so on. We're not a publisher, although I do have a publishing company. That is a different company. And that's another reason why it's not part of Writer Services. Writer Services is really my baby. It's the company I started back in the 90s. It's something I'm really passionate about. I want to help others to get their message out that will tell a great many strangers, basically, how they can improve their lives. And so I help others to help a lot more others. And so that's writer services. So sales by leads is an extension of writer services, but it's something that we all need, whether we're an author or a small to mid-sized business. We need customers, and the better quality people that we can get in front of us to sell to, the better. Because man, you can burn out your salespeople or burn yourself out if you're doing sales. If you get the wrong people in front of you, I'll tell you some battle stories along the way, but I'll tell you one quick one today. And that is years ago, probably like 12 years ago, I literally spoke to a drunk person. And it was a sales call. and it was probably more than 12 years because I've learned a lot over the years and what to put up with and what not to. I think I spoke to that person for 2.5 hours. And so obviously that person didn't buy. And if I couldn't even sell to him anyways, right? You had to wait till they sobered up. But it also took a while to tell that that person was drunk. But anyways, bottom line is that you can waste a lot of time talking to people who are not qualified in the sense of maybe finance, in the sense of maybe personality, their attitude, or maybe they're a mean person you don't want to work with. There's a lot of qualifications, right? They're qualifying you, well, you're qualifying them too. So sales by leads not only helps to get quality prospects in front of you, but we help in the motivation and training of your salespeople if you need. So it's a well-rounded situation. Just like writer services is like everything. When I create a solution to something, it's all-encompassing for that area. So in order for obviously good leads or good prospects to come in, you have to have good salespeople to close them. So when I look at a problem, I look at all of the ways that something will continue to be a problem. It's never one thing that solves it all, right? So just getting you good leads, or it could get you hundreds. And if your sales team or even you, for some reason, right, that you're not closing them, that has to be remedied because you're paying for those prospects, you're paying for those leads, you're paying in time also, right? And if you have a failed close, you're paying emotionally too because it's a failure, right? In the sense of, I didn't convince that person to do what I know would have been so good for him or her, right? So we do the full gamut on that, and whatever you or your team of salespeople and so forth need, we can supply a support mechanism for that. So that's it for today. This is the longest I've ever talked, I think, on LinkedIn. I usually go about 15, 20 minutes. But it was very enjoyable, and I hope you enjoyed it. And again, if you see this after the fact, after being live, please reach out to me if you have any questions, if you want to know more, post in the comments, reach out in some way, communicate. And we're going to be settled in pretty quick, and then I'm going to be able to start doing more live streams and live events and actual LinkedIn events too. We did a LinkedIn event a few months ago that was incredible. We had close to 600 people sign up, which was amazing for our first event. So we're going to be doing so much for 2022. And I do want to talk to you next time about New Year's resolutions and so on, right? And really making them stick, okay? All right, guys and gals, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to little old me. I'm happy that you did, and if you will tell your friends about me, I would love it because, like an audience, the bigger it is, the more exciting the person on the other side gets, right? So thank you so much. And if I don't see you before then, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and all those other ones I don't know how to pronounce. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you, and have a great and happy New Year. And we'll start creating for 2022. Okay. Alrighty then. Cool. So I will see you soon.